Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Marcel, live from China in Shenzhen this time. And in this video I want to talk about 3 key points how NIO is actually trying to gain back the confidence of investors. So it's about 3 promises that NIO has made in the past and they haven't met it so far. And of course the confidence is pretty low right now by the whole investors, but also some NIO users, right? And that's simply because some of what have been said in the past is not matching up with the actuals. But let's have a deeper look. So, number 1 is with the unveil of the NIO ET7, NIO also promised to bring out a new battery pack, which is not only poised to deliver 1,000 kilometers of range, so pretty long range battery pack, right? But also introducing a new technology called hybrid solid state. And this one was actually supposed to be launched by the end of last year. And as it's not out of today, of course, this promise wasn't met. You might now argue this is not a big deal. It's not the overall part why people become disappointed in NIO. But if we look a little bit deeper now, we have actually news around just the last couple of days that there has been a event where they unveiled a factory. So they're partnering with WeLion. I think I've uncovered that in the channel even before that was anywhere published. And this small company is producing it on behalf for NIO. And they built up their own production facilities for that. And it seems like within the next couple of weeks, because they actually signed a real production order this time, so it seems that within the next couple of weeks or months, we may actually see the first cars driving around with those battery packs, which will be introduced via battery swap, of course, and rented out, because right now still it's a hugely expensive battery because it's new technology. But again, this is one of the benefits of battery swapping, that nobody would pay the upfront price for a new technology, but NIO can actually introduce this technology due to battery swapping, and people can rent a battery based upon a certain use case and amortize the battery over time simply by renting it out. So this may actually happen quite soon, right? And if you think about it, 6 months for a new type of battery technology with a new partner, with a smaller partner that's just built a factory. I know it's a miss in a way, no promise, but at least on this part of that broken promise, in my book, that's not a big issue. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, but for me, that's not a big deal. So let's see. Might be out very soon, and then in my books, this would be a first step of actually keeping up with the promises. And if you look in what's the regular matter in the whole industry, like how often such products are getting delayed, new products in general, but also battery technologies and so on, I would say this isn't a big deal. Anyways, that's my take on the first point. The second point is about NAD. So this is not the NOP or NOP Plus or NOP Plus Beta software for autonomous driving by NIO that we're talking about. No, this is again what they unveiled with the ET7 launch event, which was about launching a subscription service for advanced driver system features that might be similar or over time going to an L4 autonomy kind of definition. And that one was also really promised for the end of last year and didn't happen either, right? Now we have a news that actually they started rolling this one out for inner city driving in Shanghai, but so far only for employees. So this is not a real keeping up with this broken promise, if you will. However, it's happening. And I'm currently in Shenzhen, but tonight I'm flying out to Shanghai, and I'm trying to get my foot on the ground and see if there's any way that I can show you this stuff. Because the difference will be that this will be showing the latest NIO technology when it comes to autonomous driving features, and it will be much more than what we usually see around the assisted driving on the highways and off-ramp, on-ramp, that sort of stuff, automatic takeover, lane keeping and so on. No, this one's going more into the direction of inner city driving, small roads, congested roads, that sort of stuff. And that's quite exciting, right? And with that, of course, the promise that there will be higher margin business coming, because of course software subscriptions would enable much higher margins on such kind of a rollout. Now, as this is kept to a very close circle for now, and as also some of the first users who are going to get it will possibly get it on a kind of a free package because they opted in on special conditions, it's very unlikely that we'll see significant revenues coming from that. I'd say there's still quite a big delay to what's been promised before on a certain timeline. Do I want to compare it to the promises of called Elon Musk and his FSD ambitions? No, not really, because Elon Musk is really maybe even a little bit more outgoing all of the time, more ambitious, and of course he has broken many more promises in this regard. However, the thing is, like, everyone's got confidence in Elon Musk because of course he can land rockets coming back from the orbit, right? And so there seems to be much more established trust in Elon Musk despite missing lots of promises. And NIO doesn't have that, right? So they need to be more careful how they deal with their social capital, and therefore they need also to show off more of, let's say, something that really works. And I'm also not sure like how well this is going to compare, but from my personal experience so far, from comparing Huawei, the ADAS here in China, the Xpeng, which has seemingly one of the most advanced ones also in a city, and NIO, I would say NIO is definitely in the highest league there, with possibly Huawei being the most advanced one, aside of all of the other robo-taxis that are operating in a different way, like say the Baidu robo-taxis and so on. So this one, I'm not sure how fast we will get actually a catch-up on the sort of promises made earlier. However, what we cannot deny is that there is actually progress happening, just that it's much less and much less visible than we possibly have anticipated, right? And as always, like, even if it's coming out later on, this will be in iterations and in steps and in waves. So yeah, maybe this is a way where we have to scale back on near-term expectations when it comes to at least the financials of that type of business. And then the third one, and of course maybe the most visible and most discussed one, is about the sales numbers. Let's say the peak FUD was around when NIO promised a certain number in Q4 last year, and that didn't happen. And the last couple of months been very painful to watch with the transition between platforms. And of course, now it's showtime. NIO needs to show that they can sell. Today we had weeklies coming out pointing towards the higher side, like more than 4,000. That's good. So that there's a certain trend developing now. But again, this is where NIO has still a gap between what they publicly announced and what has been happening in the actuals. overall, I would say not terribly, let's say, surprising that things like this happen in an early stage startup or developing startup. But certainly things that got people very worried, right? And I would say if NIO can show progress along those three metrics and in a consistent way, then this might help investors and potential customers to gain back the trust in the company. And I think in each of these three areas, as I just pointed out, we recently, in a very recent past, we've seen some progress happening. Now let me know in the comments what you think about which ones NIO going to meet, which ones they are likely to pass. Are you disappointed by the pace of the development or not? You've heard my opinion about it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.